the week again. Saturday, it's the weekend. Time to relax. Time for me to be back with another Wrestling Week in Review podcast slash live stream number 91. I'm only 9 away from reaching 100, and boy, will that be a milestone. 100 of these. I can't believe I've done 100 of these. But we got a lot to get into. I wasn't at first sure if I was going to be able to go live today because there was someone before me, someone before I came into this room, there was somebody else using it for the first like hour or so that I was here, but only until recently did that person decide to leave, left because I guess they were done using this room. So now here I am. I like doing it in one of these rooms back here because it's easier. I can go live, I can talk louder if I want to, but I'm not gonna like yell and scream because people can hear me then. But it is what it is. Let's just get into what we have to get into. And just so we're clear, I have mods on this channel that will do anything and everything to and anybody that comes in here starting that's wanting to start trouble. So if you're here, if you're gonna come in here to start trouble, don't think twice about it because I got mods that will certainly do their job and I will do my job as well. So excuse me. But we do start with the first show of the week. That is Monday Night Raw. It starts out to start the week. It's Monday, so hey, let's start off with Monday Night Raw. We have John Cena opening the show. Opening the show. Obviously, this is classic. This is basically almost a bit of a sort of, I guess you could say it's about the same that we've been getting from John Cena pretty much since he started this whole heel turn. But as of late, it definitely seems like it's been amped up just a little bit because we have John Cena addressing the R-Truth situation. We got John Cena calling the crowd hypocrites for wanting the truth, so to speak, but they can't handle the truth. Which is interesting, actually, that he said that line, because if you go back and watch the WrestleMania 21 trailers that they did, there was one where WWE did a few good men. It had John Cena playing, I guess the Tom Cruise role, and I'm guessing JBL played I guess it was the Jack Nicholson role, where JBL would say where John Cena would ask, would say, I want the truth, and then JBL's character would say, you can't handle the truth. I thought that was actually pretty nice because it was a little bit of a callback to that. But dang, it is what it is. It is what it is. We got CM Punk. Coming out. Obviously, this is probably a match that I knew. Now, even before this happened, I was already, like when John Cena announced his retirement, I knew with CM Punk back in WWE, we were going to get CM Punk versus John Cena at some point in this retirement tour. I just wasn't sure when, but it does look like we're getting it now. But there is a certain situation that had some fans sort of scratching their heads like, what the hell? Like, is this happening or is this a swerve? Because apparently a couple years ago, or however long it was ago, CM Punk had gone to X, or if it was Twitter at the time, to voice his displeasure at Saudi Arabia. Calling Saudi Arabia out and basically letting it be known that he would never step foot in Saudi Arabia for any wrestling show ever. So that's something that got fans' attention immediately when this segment happened, and when basically John Cena basically made it known that if you want this title match, if you want a match against me for this title, you have to go to Saudi Arabia to get it. And I kind of liked that about it. I kind of liked that John Cena made that ultimatum because it shows you that he knows. It shows you that John Cena remembers the tweet that CM Punk sent out that was basically him calling out Saudi Arabia, and he's basically saying, if you want this match against me, you're gonna have to swallow your pride and admit that you're a hypocrite for saying that you would never go to Saudi Arabia. But now if a WWE title match is all you need to go to Saudi Arabia, then you'll do it. I like that. And yes, the match has now been made official. So we pretty much have our first official match for the show. Obviously, we got the King of the Ring finals, which will be the King and Queen of the Ring finals, which will be held. We don't know who's in the finals yet because we're just now getting through the opening round, and this next Monday night on Raw will be the final opening round matches in the men's and women's in the King and Queen of the Ring. So there's that. And if you are wondering at what I'm looking at, I am looking at my notes. Yeah, if you're wondering maybe why I may at times do this and just get out of frame for a second or two, it's because I'm looking at my notes. After this, we got the official King of the Ring brackets, King and Queen of the Ring brackets announced. Obviously, on this show, we got first round matches. We got Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. That was the first match. Oh, actually, that wasn't the first match. The first match of the night was AJ Styles versus Chad Gable, which was a very good match. It was about 10 minutes or so, give or take, and it was a great match. It was really good. I am subscribed to a channel on YouTube called the WWE Matches, and he uploads, and he's like, if I'm not mistaken, he's from Spain, I think, and he uploads daily. He uploads the WWE matches and segments from each week's shows, Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. So it's like the full segments. So that way, if you don't have access to Netflix, which I don't, and if you don't have access to USA Network, which I don't, then you can watch the Monday Night Raw episode as if you're watching it, the full episode, just watching the segments and the matches just on his YouTube channel. So it is what it is. I did watch this match. It was pretty good. AJ Styles won. I would like it if American Made were booked to win more matches, because I just don't know what Chad Gable and the Creed brothers are doing on Raw. I mean, I wouldn't say that they do better on SmackDown, because SmackDown already has a pretty stacked tag team division, and just taking the Creed brothers and putting them on. Shut up. Whoever you are, just shut up. Well, actually, I know who you are. Moxley. Moxley, get out of here. I don't need you in my live stream, so just get out. And I know it's you. Oh, and as far as that name is concerned, just forget it. I don't know who that is. Back to the show. Back to the live stream, because I'm tired. And every time you come in here, Moxley, no matter which account it is, timed out, blocked, you name it. So, haha. Post-match, we got Chad Gable in the ring with the Creed brothers. Chad Gable just wants a little respect. Chad Gable had probably one of his best matches in a long time at Worlds Collide this past Saturday, which I watched, which is the reason why I don't think I didn't go live last week, because I wanted to watch Worlds Collide. I did, and it was a great show. It was so good. The matches were so good. There's even talk of bringing Mr. Iguana into WWE, and there's even talk that he's just going to bypass NXT and go right up to the main roster, which also apparently has gotten him into a little bit of hot water with some of the superstars on the main roster, who the ones who are kind of upset about him going straight to the main roster are probably the guys who were in NXT and to work their way up to the main roster. And then now they're just upset because this guy just doesn't even have to work his way up to the main roster. He just gets to go up there automatically because his merchandise is apparently selling like hotcakes. I'm surprised. I mean, that iguana puppet or whatever it is that he had at during the match, like Layeska or whatever it is, it's apparently big. It's apparently big now, and people are like, I want an iguana puppet. Okay, great. Great. WWE has now replaced the Cobra, Santino Marella's Cobra, with a new puppet. I mean, WWE's had their fair share of puppets getting over. Mr. Socko and the Cobra. But then again, they were both socks, but does it really matter? Sort of the same thing, I guess. Man, but it was cool. He had a great match against El Hijo de Vikingo, the AAA Mega Champion, so it is what it is. After this, we got Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez backstage with the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez both are in the same qualifying match for the Queen of the Ring tournaments. Roxanne Perez. It was Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan versus Kairi Sane. So we got yeah. Again, just checking my notes. Moxley, get out of my chat. You don't belong here, and I don't want you here. So just get out of here. Yeah. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez have been sort of on edge for a while. Ever since Liv came back, Roxanne Perez has been having to walk on eggshells because Liv Morgan is not exactly happy that Roxanne Perez is mingling around with the Judgment Day, and this is all Finn Balor's doing. I'm more than certain this is all Finn Balor's plan to maybe get the Judgment Day off their game a little bit. Camden, I would not like to take a stink face. I would not like to take a stink face from Rikishi. But just so I might just put you in timeout anyways. I'm not gonna block you, but I am gonna put you in timeout because I don't know you, and that comment is just a little out of the blue. I think I remember you going on another person's live stream maybe and saying that, but I can't remember. That's a random ass comment. No, I would not want to take a stink face from Rikishi. I'd be smelling, oh God, I'd be smelling like sweaty Samoan ass for weeks. But yeah, Liv Morgan basically was telling Roxanne Perez to stay out of her way when it comes to the Queen of the Ring tournament. Well, after this little segment, we got the women's Queen of the Ring tournament opener with Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, and Roxanne Perez. There were 3 women in this match that I actually thought, you know what? I could see any 3 of them winning this match. So this match was pretty much unpredictable. The only woman I knew wasn't going to win was Kairi Sane. Liv Morgan, I was like, I mean, I could see her winning, but then again, they might not be looking to book her in a match for the title anytime soon, because it now looks like she's going to be feuding with Nikki Bella going into whatever. Get out of here, Mox. That's the 3rd Mox account I've had to time out already. Well, the 3rd John King L. Moxley account I've had to. Well, hey, it is what it is. This match lasted about 15 minutes. It was actually very good. Hey, Austin. Glad that I'm finally getting at least one person in here in this group chat, in this live chat, that I actually like and don't hate. King L. Moxley's been in here now 3 times under 3 separate accounts, and I know it's him. I mean, it doesn't even have to. The account doesn't even have to say King L. Moxley for me to know it's him, because I know how he says things. I know how he words things, and so I know it's him. Yeah, I know. How rude of King L. Moxley to interrupt my live stream with such mindless drivel. But yeah, I figured eventually someone from the Bloodline chat on Messenger would eventually come on here. Well, thank you, Austin, for coming, and I'm pretty sure that was you who hit that like button, so hey. Eric, get out of here. And I'm pretty sure that's not even you, Eric, so it might not even be the real Eric Freeman, so get out of here. After this match, like I said, it lasted about 15 minutes. Roxanne Perez won the match. And if I'm not mistaken, she actually pinned Liv Morgan to win the match. That was surprising to me a little bit. And I'm like, okay, Liv, okay, Roxanne. I mean, a lot of people probably would have thought Rhea Ripley was going to win this match. And I know with Rhea being in the match, she's clearly would be a favorite to win any match she's in. But I didn't think, oh, what parade, Austin? But then again, they might be looking to have Rhea versus Io Sky at Evolution. I mean, if they don't do Rhea versus Io at Evolution, I'm gonna be like, what are they doing? Because that does look like where they might be going. And I thought, they might give her the. Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like it was a lot of fun. Oh, I'm good. Well, if you had fun, then hey, I'm glad you had fun. But yeah. But hey, Roxanne wins, and I'm happy with that. She definitely deserves it after being in Money in the Bank and being in Queen of the Ring. She's almost getting that Lyra Valkyria push that Lyra got when she first got into WWE. When she first came up to the main roster, she was pushed to the moon with a Queen of the Ring finals match against Nia Jax. And she's getting that sort of push, that Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton push immediately. And it's great. It's great. After this match, we got a video package. This video package was just talking about Worlds Collide, and the matches, all the matches, which I did watch. I watched Worlds Collide, and if any of you watched Worlds Collide too, or if you haven't, if you're coming in here right now and you are a fan of wrestling, but you weren't able to watch Worlds Collide, I suggest you watch it. It's on WWE's YouTube channel, and that's what I absolutely loved about this. This was not on Peacock. This was not on Netflix. This was not on USA Network or anything. This was on WWE's own YouTube channel for free. A free pay-per-view on WWE's YouTube channel. You do not have to pay for it at all. Now, WWE NXT, there's a channel that WWE created about 4 or 5 months ago that was WWE NXT, and that's dedicated to, obviously it's dedicated to NXT, and they're uploading basically every episode of NXT from the beginning all the way up until now, basically. Now they're up to like the November 25th. The last one I remember them uploading was the November 25th edition of November 25th, 2015 NXT episode. So they've now uploaded at least 3 years worth of NXT episodes. And they've uploaded countless WWE NXT pay-per-views that you can now watch on that YouTube channel for free, as well as classic NXT matches like Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, NXT TakeOver New York 2 out of 3 Falls match. They've now uploaded 2 of the 4 classic Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano matches, and so on and so forth. So that's cool. I love that YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to it. But yeah, I'm sorry I got off track. Next, we got Becky Lynch. She was out there to celebrate her win as Women's Intercontinental Champion, and she was trying to celebrate, but she couldn't because Becky Lynch. Oh, I don't know who that was. Well, I don't. You must be seeing a few people. You must be seeing some people on the live stream that I can't, because I'm only seeing you. But if there is someone on here besides you that's on here that only you can see, well, yeah. If you see anybody on this live stream that I can't, that seems like they're trying to cause trouble, you can do your thing and just get rid of them. Time them out, hide them if you have to. Just do you. I'm gonna entrust you to that because you're the only one here right now you're the only other one here right now. But yeah, we got Becky Lynch. She's trying to celebrate, but she can't really because yes, Becky Lynch did win the title from Lyra Valkyria. She did do it. You do it via heel tactics, i.e., taking. Get out of here. Whoever you are, get out of here. You're not needed here. You're not welcome here. Get out of here. There is no hate allowed on this channel. I refuse to allow it. But yeah, Becky Lynch, it's okay. And I know that's not Joe Shipley. Because Joe Shipley would not say that. But still, even if it is him, Again, like I said, no hate on this channel. No hate on this channel. I refuse to accept it, and you're gonna get gotten. Unlike certain people I know who would rather allow hate. Who would allow hate to be said. I'm in rare form tonight. I'm in rare form today. Becky Lynch called out Lyra. She called Lyra out here to raise her hand again, but this time do it proper. And like you actually mean it. But yeah, she did come out there. But then before she even got the chance to do it over again, Bayley comes out of nowhere and starts pummeling Becky Lynch. I'm like, okay, Bayley is back. She's getting her revenge on Becky, which only made sense considering Becky made it pretty clear she was the one who took out Bayley at WrestleMania, even though she was never technically injured to begin with, and they never had any plans to use her at WrestleMania ever. She was just used as. But now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense as to why she was never at WrestleMania. They explained it basically by having Becky Lynch claim to have attacked her, and now Bayley's back for her quote unquote revenge. And I love it. I love it. Where does this match take place? Obviously, this match could take place at Night of Champions for the Women's Intercontinental title, which would be the third straight PLE in which the title has been defended. And then, obviously, I'm thinking we might be getting a Lyra versus Becky Lynch Part 3 match, potentially at Evolution 2. That's where I could see that going. We got King of the Ring, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker versus Penta El Zero Miedo versus Dominic Mysterio. Lasted about 18 minutes, and this was a very good match. What? Gerald Bell? What the? My nose does not look as fake as Stephen King. What? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, Gerald. And you're a mod on my channel. Maybe you should act like one. This match went about 18 minutes, and Sami Zayn won. I actually thought Braun was winning this match. And then when I saw LA Knight come out of nowhere and hit a BFT on Braun Breaker, I was like, oh right. I forgot. LA Knight got screwed out of Money in the Bank by Seth Rollins and his backup crew. So I think it's pretty clear, it's safe to say that LA Knight is not going to be forgotten past post Money in the Bank. He is apparently set to feud with Seth Rollins in the near future. So that's gonna definitely be, and based off of what happened yesterday on SmackDown, last night on SmackDown, I think it's pretty safe to say Seth Rollins versus LA Knight is the feud that they're going with right now for the two. Although I thought we would be getting a cash in, we'd already be getting having Seth Rollins as champion, but it is what it is. We got Nikki Bella. She's out there. A lot of people, I don't necessarily. Yeah, basically hyping her return. She will be at Evolution 2. And after this segment, I think we now know what she's going to be doing at Evolution 2, because she was interrupted by Liv Morgan. They went back and forth. Nikki left, but then Liv Morgan dragged her back into the ring by calling her nothing more than a reality star diva. that gave Nikki all the incentive she needed to get back into the ring. But as soon as she did, Liv Morgan hit Oblivion, almost as if she knew full well what she was doing, and she was doing that on purpose. She had said what she said on purpose just to get Nikki back into the ring so she could Oblivion her, hit her with Oblivion, which happened, and it's obvious, and I think it's pretty obvious that Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan is a match for Evolution 2, even though it has not been confirmed yet. I think it's pretty safe to say that's the plan, that's the direction they're going with. We got a promo package for Asuka. It's now being confirmed that she is now returning this upcoming Monday in the Queen of the Ring tournament. The one thing I would have liked for them to do was to keep this a secret until this upcoming Monday. We could have easily done without this hype video for Asuka, because that's something that I don't necessarily like. When WWE hypes a return, that's a lot of us would have liked to have kept WWE to have kept secret. But it is what it is. I guess we're gonna find out eventually anyways, so I guess it's better to just get it over with now, I guess. But hey, Asuka's probably winning her match. She's probably winning her match. And then it's probably going to be Roxanne and so great. And then whoever else. Yeah, I think Asuka's winning her match for the Queen of the Ring tournament. Also, we got the main event. Jey Uso versus Gunther for the world title. Interestingly enough, this match was long. It was like about 26 minutes. It was like much longer. It was like about 25 minutes. And it was way longer, at least 10 minutes longer than their WrestleMania match. And this was a pretty darn good match. And Jey loses the World Heavyweight Championship to Gunther. I thought we were getting a cash-in. I thought we were getting a cash-in from Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins pins Jey Uso because Gunther's basically, he's like kryptonite. You can't exactly beat him right now clean because it doesn't make sense, because he's always booked to be a dominant force that just doesn't hardly ever lose. And even when he does lose, it's usually in matches where he doesn't have to be the one to get pinned. Like when they did those, when Sheamus lost his match against Gunther at Clash at the Castle 2022, and then the very next month at Extreme Rules, the Brawling Brutes had a 6-man tag match with Imperium. It was a Donnybrook match, and the Brawling Brutes won, but they didn't pin Gunther. So that's what I'm saying, is that even when Gunther has lost, it's been in matches where he isn't the one. He doesn't necessarily have to be pinned in order to lose the match, like in tag team matches or in multi-man matches. So it is what it is. But it's mostly been in tag team matches, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, it's being rumored that Goldberg versus Gunther will be the match for the world title, and it will be at Saturday night's main event. The Saturday night's main event, which is the same weekend as Evolution 2. Great! This match is going to probably be decent at best, but not great, because Goldberg has now made it clear that he is not at his usual 100%. He is not going to be able to do most of the stuff that he usually would love to do in that ring, that he would have done like 20-something years ago, when he was still very much good, or a good wrestler. But that was it for Monday Night Raw. If I had to rate Monday Night Raw, I would give it I don't know, man. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It was very good. The matches for King and Queen of the Ring so far have been great, have been pretty darn good. It's almost been as good as the Money in the Bank qualifying matches have been just as good. Whoever you are, get out of here. If that's you, Mox, get out of here. Never seen you before, but you don't deserve to be here. You're not gonna come into my group chat. You're not gonna come into my live stream and start spewing whatever it is you want to spew. Yeah. What kind of a name is Juverman anyway? What kind of name is that anyway? On to Tuesday and NXT. This edition of NXT had 3 title matches. We had 3 title matches. We had a couple of other, we had at least 2 other we had 2 tag team matches, 1 singles match, and yeah. So we start out the show. The show starts out with them showing various superstars entering the arena, entering the performance center as they always do. They showed Femi coming into the performance center, but Jasper Troy, the recent winner of WWE's LFG Season 1, now apparently they're doing a Season 2 very soon, actually, within the next month or so. Can't wait to see who wins that season 2, but Jasper Troy, the winner of the first season, he laid out Femi before their NXT title match in the main event. We got the first opening match of the night segment, whatever you want to call it. It was Sean Legacy versus Ethan Page. He came out. Ethan Page is defending his recently won North American Championship against a superstar from WWE Evolve, Sean Legacy. Went about 12 minutes. It was a good match. I watched this match. I am able to watch NXT on the CW, so I was able to watch this match, and this match was very good. It was very good. Lasted about 12 minutes. Ethan Page obviously won the match. Now, what I was not expecting was for Ricky Saints to come out of nowhere and attack Ethan Page post-match. A lot of people coming out of the Ricky Saints Ethan Page match for the title, there was speculation that he would be headed up to the main roster after that match, after losing his title. That's usually been the case when a superstar loses a title. They usually go up to the main roster. Obviously, with Stephanie Vaquer, that's clearly with Stephanie Vaquer's case. She lost her NXT Women's title and immediately went up to the main roster. So hey, it is what it is. I'm guessing they might have a rematch for the title. I'm guessing they're having a third match. I guess it's also, you could say it's kind of like a Becky Lyra situation, because they've now had 2 matches, and it definitely looks like they might be going for a third with those 2. This could be the same situation where they now have had 2 matches, both of which were good matches, and they could have a third one, Ricky and Ethan. So we'll see what happens. We got Izzy Dane. We got a segment with Izzy Dane and the rest of the culling. Now minus Brooks Jensen, who was apparently clocked in the back with a steel chair by Izzy last week, basically cutting him out of the family. She basically said that if you're not fully 100% committed to the culling, then you are out. Doesn't matter what you say. If you're not 100% fully committed, you are out. That was basically her reasoning behind it all. Behind it. The reason she gave was that she could tell that Brooks Jensen wasn't 100%, wasn't fully committed, that there was tension, especially when it came to Josh Briggs, and I'm guessing that's because him and Josh Briggs entered NXT together as a tag team back in 2021. It's like he's been in NXT for 4 years now. Under 4 years, about 3.5 years, because they first made their first NXT appearance in like September 20. I think it was September 14th. I think it was September 14th of NXT, 14th, 2021. Whoever you are, get out of here. You're not welcome here. You won't get me to say that name. You won't get me to say that word. Not ever. Never, ever, ever. But yeah. Then we get a tag team match. Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura, who has now come back, who came back at NXT Battleground. Apparently, after going back to Japan, he came back to NXT to help his friend Josh Briggs. So they're back together. They had a match against the Culling, Shawn Spears and Nico Vance. Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura did win the match. It was a good match, about 7 minutes. It was a good match, and good job, Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. We also got shown footage from earlier. After this, we were shown footage from earlier in the day when Lash Legend got into a little backstage altercation argument with Kalani Jordan and Ren Sinclair. This led to a match tonight on the NXT against Ren Sinclair, and it wasn't even that. And it was basically a squash match. Wasn't much to talk about. It was just a squash match. Congrats to Lash Legend for winning, but it is what it is. Also, we apparently got a women's title match on the show. We got apparently a new superstar to the main roster to NXT, that being Lainey Reed. She's now been featured twice in the last 2 weeks. Last week, she was in the segment in which Mariah May made her debut in NXT, although she isn't called Mariah May anymore, and I will talk about that. This week, she was in a backstage segment with Jacy Jayne and Ava. She apparently decided to slap the taste out of Jacy Jayne's mouth and decided to call Jacy Jayne the most beatable champion in NXT history, which obviously didn't sit well with Jacy Jayne, and so that led to a match. About 10 minutes, about 10, 11 minutes or so, it was actually a pretty decent match. Lainey Reed was probably the better wrestler in the match, and she was pretty darn good. But obviously, the rest of Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, they were there to save Jacy Jayne right when it looked like she might lose, and Jacy Jayne was able to win via the Raw Rolling Encore elbow. Good job, Jacy Jayne, for retaining your NXT Women's Championship. After this, we got Ava backstage with Ricky Saints. She is not exactly happy with Ricky Saints after what he did after attacking Ethan Page, and she obviously understands that he wants at least some form of payback against Ethan Page, but that he should just settle it in the ring. What? Jeez, Moxley, you are in rare form today, aren't you? And even if you're not getting on Moxley under a fake account, my reviews do not suck. And I will not quit. So, haha. So you want me to quit? Well, then I'll just continue. Well, then just to spite you, I'm just going to keep doing these. Just to spite you. It is what it is. We got the family, D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo and Luca Crucifino versus High Rise, that being Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe, with Wesley at ringside. This match was a good match. Went about 9 minutes or so, but this match ended when Stacks decided to appear at ringside, distracting Luca, which then allowed Tyson and Tyreek to eventually get the win. So obviously this match was decent, but it was meant to, I guess, further the sort of quote unquote dissension of the family. And obviously that was not Luca's fault, him getting distracted by Stacks. Stacks shouldn't have even been out there. If Stacks not come out there and distracted Luca, they might have won the match because they were rolling at one point and it looked like they might win. But when Tony was looking for that tag, Luca was distracted by Stacks coming in. And obviously, I'm sure he wanted to make sure that the Don didn't win that match. But yeah. After JC's match with Lena Reed, we saw Ava. We heard from Ava. She was up on the balcony where superstars usually like to stand and watch matches if they want to, or sometimes they get promos from there onto a superstar in the ring. She told JC Jane the announcement that as of next week, which is this upcoming Tuesday on NXT, there will be 4 singles matches. And the winner of those matches will move on, I'm guessing, to a fatal 4-way, with the winner getting a shot at JC Jane's NXT Championship at Evolution 2. So we are getting JC Jane. So the second match we got planned, obviously, for Evolution 2 is JC Jane versus To Be Decided, basically. And I do know that's you, Moxley, because I've seen you use that account multiple times on my live streams. So you can't fool me, okay? We got a Mariah May vignette. Now she is going by the name of Blake Monroe, which I'm okay with that name, actually, because apparently it's a nod to the Blake in her name is derived from her cousin, who's named Blake, and Monroe is a nod to, obviously, iconic Hollywood actress Marilyn Monroe. So that's the reasoning for her becoming Blake Monroe, and I'm not mad at it because it's actually a decent name. It's better than some of the other names that I'm sure WWE would have loved to give her. So it is what it is. Would I have liked her to be just named, but be referred to as Mariah May? Yes, but I can see why they would want to change her name, especially if she owns the rights to Mariah May and she doesn't want to give up those rights. Then we get the main event. Oba Femi versus Jasper Troy for the NXT Championship, and my God, this was a good match. I was not expecting it to be this good of a match. I mean, this match was good. The pre-match attack at the beginning of the show definitely hindered some of Obafemi's power ability that he usually loves to go with. At one point at the end of the match, and I actually did upload a video to my YouTube channel where I did a little short video of me reacting to the spot where the barricade broke after Jasper Troy. I think it was either Jasper Troy sent Oba into the barricade or Oba sent Jasper into the barricade. This match was just great. Oba won. I sort of figured this was going to happen, that he was going to win this match. And so it is what it is. Good match, really good match, but Obafemi was always going to win. That's NXT. I would rate it a solid 7.5, 7, maybe 7.5. The Lash Legend, Ren Sinclair squash match maybe didn't need to happen. And there were maybe one or two things that I didn't necessarily like, but it was overall a pretty good show. Now on to AEW Dynamite. This week's AEW Dynamite was titled Summer Blockbuster. For the second week in a row, we are forced to watch 4 hours of AEW television. Obviously, I can't watch AEW. I can't watch AEW. I don't have TNT. I don't have TBS. I don't have cable. So obviously, what I watch of AEW, I have to watch via their YouTube channel. And from what I saw, a lot of it was not very good. The opening match was obviously Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland in I guess part 2 match, because the first time they faced off was at Forbidden Door last year, and I thought was a great match. But this match went 30 minutes, and it was set as a 30-minute draw, with a 30-minute time limit. So this match ended in a draw with no winner. I can understand why AEW would book it that way, because this is 2 of your biggest stars, and I don't think you really want either one of your biggest stars to take a pinfall loss in this situation. I mean, obviously they could have done this a little bit differently maybe, but I don't know. I don't know if they could have done it any differently or any better, but it is what it is. After this match, we got the Young Bucks coming in, ambushing Swerve Strickland, and they pulled out a pair of shoes that were apparently Reeboks that Swerve Strickland had used in the Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing. I think it was a Double or Nothing. They were gonna they were laced with thumbtacks on the bottom part of the shoe, and so on the bottoms of the shoe, and so they were gonna do a super kick. They were obviously both gonna do super kicks on the Swerve Strickland with the thumbtacks basically hitting Swerve Strickland. Well, what happened was Will Ospreay took the bullet, was able to get back into the ring and intercept just in time to take the bullet for Will Ospreay. Now, if they're going with Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks, potentially at All In, I might be okay with that, because that might be the best direction right now. I might be okay with that. And it might be interesting to see where the story goes. We'll see. We got MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. We got Mystico coming out. Obviously, Mystico is former WWE superstar. Oh, great. How do I not know who this guy is? Sin Cara. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the original Sin Cara, not the second Sin Cara that was played by, who Hunico. Hunico. Why am I having trouble saying names all of a sudden? But yeah, we got the original Sin Cara out there, Mystico, as he's now being called, which I'm guessing may be his real name. But yeah, then MJF and the Hurt Syndicate, they decide to interrupt. And they go back, and MJF and Mystico go back and forth. And now it has been made official. Next week in Mexico, they're having they're having AEW Grand Slam Mexico, and apparently one of the matches will be Mystico versus MJF. Great. I don't have to be a mind reader to tell you how that match is going to go down. MJF wins. Let's move on. Please. Now, this bled into the match that Hurt Syndicate was to have tonight, on this night, which was Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MJF versus Kevin Knight, Mascara Dorado, or whatever you call, however you say his name. Commander was supposed to be in this match, but they were taken out apparently earlier on in the day by the Hurt Syndicate, so he wasn't going to be able to show up. But they had this guy as a replacement with Speedball Mike Bailey. So, okay. I can't remember who actually won. I don't know what happened. My stream just... Oh, man. I just got a message from someone on Messenger, so I was just, saying hi. But yeah, the Faces won this match. Great. Other stuff we had on tonight's show, on the show, we got Tekla, the Toxic Spider Tekla, which I have no idea who she is. I have no idea who she is. She went up against Queen Aminata. Went about 6 minutes. Let's move on. We got Toni Storm versus Julia Hart. This was a good match. Went about 9 minutes. And Toni won, obviously, but Mercedes, who was inside, having a drink, eating a steak. Oh, come on. Now we're just getting just plain rude and mean. Not that you guys weren't before, but keep it up. Keep it up, and I'm gonna time you out, block you every single time. Unlike certain people who would allow this kind of stuff to happen nonstop with no end in sight. Yeah. Mercedes Moné, who was at ringside for this match, drinking, I guess it was a wine or some sort of drink. She was eating a steak. She was basically having dinner at ringside. She got up from her seat and attacked Toni Storm. Blindsided attack, and the segment ended with her raising the title up as if she had already won, as if she had just won the title. I can't tell you how jinxed Mercedes may have just put herself in. How jinxed she may have just jinxed herself with that. Because usually when someone does that, that usually means they're losing the match. Just so you know. A lot of times it's happened. Not just in AEW, but it happens in WWE too. I've seen it done a number of times in WWE. We got Hangman Adam Page backstage being interviewed. When the Young Bucks interrupt, he just basically wants the Young Bucks to stay out of his business. Stay out of my business, okay? I don't know who you are. But but damn, these trolls are really getting at me. Are really coming out in full force today. Well, to be honest, I expect nothing less coming from Moxley and his crew of fakes. I mean, they always come into my live streams at least a couple times. So at least it's nothing new for me. But yeah. There really wasn't much of anything on this show that was even considered great. Except for the opening match and maybe the tag team 6-man tag match with the Hurt Syndicate and the baby faces. Tony Storm versus Julia was good. We got a Hangman and Page segment with the Death Riders. That was pretty good. He was saved by the Ops. I'm guessing it was Kazuchika Shibata, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs, who are the trio's champions. I'll just say it. AW Dynamite this week was not good. AW Summer Blockbuster was not good. So I'll just rate it a 5 out of 10 and just get on with the rest of the show. We got Friday Night SmackDown. We got John Cena. And yes, this John Cena heel turn finally looks like it's starting to crack. It finally looks like it's starting to actually be a good heel turn. Because I think for what definitely hampered the heel turn from being really good within the first month or so was because Cena just kept saying a lot of the same stuff. Like, I'm going to ruin pro wrestling. I'm going to ruin pro wrestling. I'm going to ruin pro wrestling. And just would say the same stuff in his promos. Like, I've been in an abusive relationship with the fans for 25 years or whatnot. Like, but now it almost looks like he is starting to get into a groove as a heel, and I'm actually starting to like his heel turn. Not that I didn't like it before, but obviously I could tell that it was missing something, and maybe having R-Truth, this new serious version of R-Truth, may be what makes the Cena heel turn actually feel good, and it doesn't. And it helps when this feud with CM Punk is going to definitely going to make this heel run by John Cena better because they have so much history with each other. Even dating back to 2010. Even dating back to 2010 when they had they had their first official match together on an episode of Raw, which was obviously, if you remember, that was the episode in which the Nexus debuted. If I'm not mistaken, that was John Cena versus CM Punk, and I think CM Punk actually won that match. They've had multiple matches together. Multiple matches. He was obviously interrupted by three guys, all of which were in Money in King of the Ring qualifying matches. First, Cody Rhodes, then Randy Orton, then LA Knight. All of them shine in this segment. Then John Cena, he got out of the ring, said, you know what? Bye-bye. Don't need this. I'm going. Then, out of nowhere, R-Truth comes out and just attacks John Cena. So, we got that. After this segment, we were obviously, what was next was the men's King of the Ring qualifier with LA Knight, Randy Orton, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black. But before that, we had a backstage segment with John Cena, who we saw John Cena backstage, and he was arguing very heavily with Nick Aldis. And what I loved about this segment, this little backstage moment, was that while he was arguing with Nick Aldis, he had decided to turn his hat backwards and was looking for a few seconds like Dr. Thugonomics John Cena. Come on, man. We got to see it at least once during this retirement tour. We have to. It's like my favorite version of John Cena. Not that I don't like PG John Cena from like 2008, from when they initially went to PG up until now, up until the heel turn, but I will always like John Cena's Dr. Thugonomics version of a lot better than the other versions of John Cena we've gotten. But I am starting to like this heel run now because it's actually getting good. But yes, we got this King of the Ring qualifier match. Now, I almost thought that LA Knight might actually win this match. But then we got Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker getting involved in this match. It's a fatal four-way, which means it's no disqualification. But I was like, oh shit, I forgot. LA Knight cost Braun Breaker his spot in the King of the Ring tournament, so why not? Seth Rollins probably sent Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to SmackDown tonight to make sure LA Knight does not win his qualifying match for King of the Ring. And it obviously looks like by now, if it wasn't clear on Monday, it's now clear now that SmackDown's done that this is the feud that they're going with right now for LA Knight. Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. Some people will still be like, well, LA Knight should be wrestling for a world championship. Well, he's wrestling one of the top guys in WWE right now, and probably one of the top heels in WWE right now. Obviously, John Cena probably being the other top heel in WWE right now. So, what else do you want from him? Yeah. But hey, Randy Orton won this match. I'm going to call it right now. We're getting now Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn in the semifinals. I could see Randy Orton winning that match. And as of last night, it was made official by Adam Pearce that Jey Uso will occupy the mystery slot in the men's King of the Ring tournament. As we already know, Asuka is filling the vacant spot on the women's side. So I could honestly see Jey Uso winning his first round match, and then us getting Cody versus Jey in the semifinals, having Cody win, and then have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes in the finals, with Cody winning. I could see that happening. Now, obviously, they could swerve us and do something completely different. There's at least 4 different match outcomes that we could get for the finals, and I'm okay with any one of them. I'm actually okay with any one of them. We got Jacob Fatu. He's out there cutting a promo. He recently decided that he no longer loves his brother, Solo, but that he hates his brother. Solo, I hate you. Yep, he turned on. In fact, we got a Jacob Fatu face turn quicker than we got a Austin Theory face turn, because they were teasing Austin Theory turning face long before Jacob Fatu even showed up in WWE. Well, actually, no, it's not. He hasn't. No, wait, no. They've been teasing an Austin Theory. Well, when they first started teasing the Jacob Fatu Solo Sikoa descent, where they don't see eye to eye anymore, they started stirring the pot long after they had started. Oh, that's probably not even the real Doctor Who What Where. No, he shouldn't, because there's no reason for him to hate me, because he doesn't even know me. He doesn't know me. Why would he say that? Yeah. Solo Sikoa then shows up Andron and says, look, this can all go away. I can forgive you for what you did, as long as you say 4 words. I love you, Solo. Well, I'm guessing that's not going to happen. And hey, this feud is obviously going to be good, but it will obviously highlight how bland Jake Solo Sikoa really is, because he is because Jacob Batu is light years better. Derek White, hi. I don't think I've ever seen you in my live streams before, but thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. If there's anybody in here who has not hit that like button, I can't believe I haven't said this yet, but if there's anybody here that is in the live chat, no, I'm not British. I don't have a British accent. I can do a good impression, but I don't have a British accent. I am strictly American, born and bred. If there's anyone in here who would like to hit that like button, feel free to do so. It is never required, but I do appreciate it. We got Zelina Vega. We got Chelsea Green and Nicole this segment backstage. Chelsea Green was apparently not in Lexington. I think I can't remember where it was, Lexington, Kentucky or whatever. Wherever it is, they were at SmackDown tonight, and she was hoping that because she wasn't there, that her Money in the Bank, that a Queen of the Ring match, first round match, would be postponed till like next week. Well, that didn't sit well with Nick Aldis, so he made the match. He said that the match is going to go on with or without her, and that since Alba Fire seems like she might be ready to go and have a match, he'll just put Alba in Chelsea Green's spot. Which did not sit well with Chelsea Green at all, as she was fussing and fuming on her phone. Then we get Zelina Vega coming in. She was there to talk to Nick Aldis. She basically wanted to tell Nick Aldis that next week she'll call out Julia in the ring. All while Chelsea Green is still apparently fussing and fuming on the phone in the background, which I thought was hilarious. We then get Wyatt Six. They have a match tonight against Motor City Machine Guns. This match wasn't even that good. It was good, but it wasn't anything special. Wyatt Six win. They don't seem to have anything to do at the moment, which they need something to do that's actually of substance and something that we can actually sink our teeth into as fans. But right now, they just don't seem to have anything like long-term planned for the group. But congrats to the Wyatts for a good win. We got Naomi, the new Miss Money in the Bank. She is out there cutting a promo, basically dissing the fans. Basically made it clear that there were a lot of fans who didn't think she was going to win Money in the Bank, and now here she is. She's now got a laugh that I know some people are going to be like, oh no, it's cringe. But I think it's perfect for her character. It fits her perfectly. It makes her out to be this maniacal, evil genius / super evil villain that who's like so annoying, yet you gotta try and take down the evil genius and the evil super villain. And yeah, then Tiffany comes out. She tells Naomi, why don't you just cash in your Money in the Bank briefcase now? But then Naomi's like, do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm Boo Boo the Fool? And she tells Tiffany, I'm not cashing in now. That would be stupid. Yes, I can cash in whenever I want, but just because I can doesn't mean I'm going to. I'm going to cash in when you least expect it. And I'm going to make your life hell. And that's almost exactly how she said it right there. Then after Naomi walks out, Nia comes out and starts attacking Tiffany Stratton. I mean, this might be good if this plays into potentially Naomi cashing in on Tiffany, which she actually did sort of start to tease, but didn't do. I'm hoping that while Naomi holds the briefcase, she doesn't do what Tiffany did, and that is tease cash in after cash in after cash in, and then not deliver. But then in Tiffany's case, she had a supposed best friend in Nia Jax who was going to clean her clock if she even tried to cash in on her ever. So, so I think that's is a different situation. We got Queen of the Ring tournament first round match. Piper Niven versus Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill versus Michin. This match was actually pretty darn good, went about 14 minutes, and Jade Cargill wins. Now, I heard that she's getting a push going into the summer months, and so I do feel like she is probably the odds-on favorite to win the tournament this year. I thought we might get Charlotte versus Jade in the finals, maybe, but who knows? I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon because the other Queen of the Ring match we got was Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss versus Alba Fire versus Candice LeRae, and Alexa Bliss wins. Went about 11 minutes, and Alexa Bliss wins, and I'm very surprised at that. I didn't think Charlotte Flair. I thought Charlotte Flair was at least going to make the finals, but no, that's not going to happen apparently. So good for Alexa. She doesn't. I'm not going to say that Alexa doesn't deserve it because she's been out for so long, and so she kind of does sort of deserve it after all that she's done. But hey, good for her. Definitely unexpected. I don't know if it's a good unexpected or a bad unexpected. We got another John Cena segment. This time he called out R-Truth for what Truth had done to him earlier on in the night, attacking him. But instead of R-Truth, we got CM Punk in another sort of a surprise appearance. Then this segment was great. It might have been even better than the previous segment on Raw, which as of right now has 2.6 million views on WWE's YouTube channel. Tell us this feud isn't going to be good without telling us this feud is actually going to be good. Obviously, they went back and forth again. John Cena eventually then decides to actually bring up the tweet that CM Punk posted to Twitter about calling out Saudi Arabia, and he decided that if you take this match, then you'll basically be a hypocrite because you basically voiced your strong opinions on Saudi Arabia and how you would never, ever wrestle in Saudi Arabia ever again. So you're going to have to admit that you're a hypocrite for... Which I loved that they did that. I loved that they integrated that into the story because I don't think they would have... Because that's one of the few things I think they would have had to address was the controversial tweet that CM Punk sent out about Saudi Arabia. That had to be brought up at some point because just Punk just coming into Saudi Arabia as if he hadn't said anything derogatory about Saudi Arabia, that would have been a little weird. But it is what it is. After this segment, we got another attack from Ron Killings, aka R-Truth, on John Cena. Then we go backstage and Ron Killings basically and Nick Aldis, he talking to Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis makes it official for next week. Ron Killings versus John Cena. Whether it's the main event, I don't know, but it might be the main event. But hey, it is what it is. We got the second King of the Ring opening round match of the night. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest versus Andrade versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This match went about 19-20 minutes or so. Pretty good match. Maybe not as good as the other match we got, which was a LA Knight versus Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes versus Aleister Black. But it was still a very good match. And Cody Rhodes wins. Kind of figured that was going to happen, considering the men that were in this match. Andrade and Shinsuke were not winning. Damian Priest, I thought, had a slim chance. But with Cody Rhodes in this tournament, it's almost a guarantee that he's going to win, and we are going to get John Cena versus CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes Part 2 at SummerSlam. That's probably where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and maybe John Cena wins the title back. I don't know, but maybe it does happen. But that's it for Friday Night SmackDown. If I were to rate it, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 because it was just that good. It was very good. Very good show tonight. But that's it. And that's about it for my live stream. An hour and 21 minutes. Whew, I usually don't go that long, but I have recently. But that's only because sometimes I get distracted by some of the people that come into my live chat. Some of the people that like to talk to me. But it is what it is. I want to thank you all for coming. And hey, it is what it is. I will see you guys next week. Now, I want to address a video that I will be doing this week. This week, I will be doing a video for my second YouTube channel, Michael W. Harper, and it's going to be another Goodwill Finds video for this month. I'm going to upload it to that YouTube channel as soon as I can. When I do the video, I'm going to upload it as soon as I can. And then next week, after I do this live stream, I'm going to try to do another movie review video. And if I don't do it next week, it'll be the week after that. So that's all I have as far as updates for my channels. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Yeah, don't have much to say else. Okay, guys. Yeah, that's it for me. Peace out, guys.